Glasgow. We are the hosts. But now, although we have now all agreed on the problem, we now have to do something about it. And the time to do that is in the next committee meeting of the International Panel on Climate Change, which will take place in Glasgow. We are the host, together with Italy, who are the co-hosts, and it is now up to us to put before the nations of the world what has to be done. The next committee meeting of the International Panel on... We don't need to emphasize to them or to you that the longer we leave it and not doing things but going on talking about the problems, the worse it's going to get. And in the end, unless we do something, it becomes insoluble. So now is the moment. Now Glasgow becomes extremely important. We are leaders, together with Italy, of that group, and it is up to us to organize the nations of the world to do something about it. That's why it is so encouraging to know that the present government has declared this year the year, not of talking about it, not of alarming people, not of warning, but of action. And it's a huge encouragement to those of us who have been worrying about this problem for a very long time to know that now the government of this country is going to do something in Glasgow at the end of this year.
The steepest in central London, but the tragedy for Mersey and the tragedy for humanity. It is now predicted, unless we take urgent action, to get 3 degrees hotter. And in the hurricanes and the bushfires and the melting of the ice caps and the acidification of the oceans, the evidence is now overwhelming. And it is taking its toll. This phenomenon of global warming is taking its toll on the most vulnerable populations around the planet, which is why the UK has now committed to 11.6 billion in tackling global climate change and in financing climate initiatives around the world. And we know, everybody, fantastic to see so many people here this morning, because I think we all know that as a country, as a society, as a planet, as a species, we must now act. And we in the UK will do everything we can to support our Chinese friends in their biodiversity COP, which is also coming up in the autumn. And I think it's very important there should be a link between the two, because and there should be a clear sharing of the agenda, because we must reverse the appalling loss of habitats and species. It's only by repairing the damage to the natural world and restoring the balance between humanity and nature, which is now so grotesquely out of kilter, that we can address the problems of climate change. Act, and we in the UK will do everything we can to support our Chinese friends in their biodiversity. And of course, at the same time, we have to deal with our CO2 emissions. And that is why the UK is calling for us to get to net zero as soon as possible, to get for every country to announce credible targets to get there. That's what we want from Glasgow. And that's why we are pledged here in the UK to deliver net zero by 2050. And we're the first major economy to make that commitment. I hope you agree it's the right thing to do. I think it's quite proper that we should. We were the first, after all, to industrialize. Look at the historic emissions of the UK. We have a responsibility to our planet to lead in this way and to do this.
Mr. Prime Minister, we are ready and determined to go along this path. For our part, we are ready to take responsibility. We will push the EU to set increasingly ambitious domestic targets for 2030, in line with the EU aspirations. But we also need enhanced and sustained international engagement beyond the European Union. If the efforts to tackle climate change are not global, we will never win this challenge. 2020 will be a defining year for the global fight against climate change. With COP26, Italy and the United Kingdom have the chance to make a difference and lead others to do the same.